All right, everybody. Today is an exciting day because my mother-in-law is on camera. And
Again.
So many of you love seeing her, and you've asked for more of her. So here she is. And we've got some pictures to discuss. And this is not my speciality. This is definitely yours on where to put them in the house.
Okay. Yeah, but actually, where you put the pictures has got to be where it suits you and Luke. I mean, it's the next generation. I did what I thought was right in the house. Well, I did what I thought was more or less right. Should we turn it right way up?
Yeah,
so we can actually see it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oops.
Okay. Okay. Where do you want it? Here.
There.
The thing.
Just in the same place. But
Okay,
at
here.
least we can look at her properly.
Okay, yeah.
Mind you, it doesn't make much difference.
There we go. So I think it's worth explaining to everybody how the family, the Montague family, is related to Samuel Pepys, the great diarist.
Yep.
And that is, he was the nephew of Edward Montague,
I have
the first
to tell
Earl.
you, Julie, and I have to tell all the listeners to this program that I am absolutely hopeless on who was married to who and when they were married to whatever. So I'm not the person to talk to about that. I'm quite good on the pictures and anything else, but you know, who married who is not my drop.
Well, okay. And actually, to be fair, it doesn't necessarily really matter. All we know is that this
She's Paulina.
Pups.
Yeah, she's Paulina, really important.
Who was
Yep.
the first Earl's, Edward Montague's mother.
That's right. And Edward Montague, by the way, was born in 1625.
Yes,
Because
that's
we
right.
all know that number because it relates to various things on the estate.
That's exactly right. And this painting was done, well, it says 1626, so the year after. So she had given birth to Edward.
No wonder she's looking so sickly.
Yes, she is. It's quite a scary,
dark
portrait,
yes,
but I want to hang it.
Of course you do. But I think what's happened probably is that the picture's lost a bit of colour there and there, possibly in her face as well. And it would be interesting to see what little bits would be like if they were cleaned. I have to say that it's very static. She really isn't moving. And she's quite rightly holding a prayer book. Given the Montague family, it's quite a good thing to do.
Right.
Her head, of course, is very small. And if you look at where her shoulders are, which are there, her neck would have been really long.
Right. I mean, I quite like her dress.
Her dress is much better than her face.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Well, so I thought we should probably hang this because she's the mother of the first Earl of Sandwich. So but we want to hang her, I think, in the hall is what we discussed because that's where the first
and
Earl
actually,
is.
we discussed hanging her where there's a picture of one of the Watsons from Rockingham, who were well, not even cousins actually. They were friends of the Montagues, and I think she'd go there. Personally, I mean, since we're being quite frank about these things, I wouldn't want her to put her too so much in the limelight because I really don't think she's a good picture.
No.
And she will look even worse against Jemima, first Countess.
Yeah, okay, I'll put her far away.
It's not good now because she's been so restored, but she's still a good picture.
Right, okay, well, at least she'll be in the same room with family members, with her daughter-in-law and her son.
Yep.
Okay. Second is, as we've redecorated the library and during the new up-and-coming American Heiress exhibition that we'll be putting on the walls, I'm going to be putting bits of Alberta and Hinchingbrooke. Now, this painting by Hogarth used to be in the library. But you've thought of a really good place because this is a good painting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a wonderful painting. It's one of the very good paintings in the house.
Right.
It's,
So we don't just want it sitting in a room.
No, of course not. And Hogarths are always good, but Hogarths of children are really good. Look at the way he's almost coming out of the frame. He's so alive. His face is coming out to talk to us. Little boy, poor little boy, died aged 8.
Yes.
Absolutely lovely.
And
wonderful picture.
Am I right in saying that he was the son of the fourth Earl of Sandwich and Dorothy Fane, the fourth wife? But she lost a lot of children, didn't she? Or something like that.
She produced a lot of children, And at the time, of course, everybody lost children, so she lost children too. Of
Right,
course.
right. And this is one of them.
Yep.
So yes, yeah.
She was. They had a very happy life at Hinchingbrooke for years, and then it sort of didn't work out.
Right.
She lost children.
Right. That
But
might have
think of
something to do with
losing that little boy.
I know.
That lively, happy face, looking out at the world.
Yes. No. It's a lovely picture. So where do you think this should go?
Drawing room.
Drawing room, which is where the fourth Earl is. So there he'd be with his father.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're trying to
Yeah.
put family members
Yep. Together.
together
In the right centuries.
in the right centuries. Exactly. Okay. So I will get onto that at
But
some
I
point.
think we also said that it should go
yes.
beside the Samuel Scott.
Yes.
Okay. On the right-hand side, probably. And then we've got to find one to go on the left-hand side. Actually, that would do. Wouldn't look bad.
Okay.
Because it's got such a smart frame. And Julie, all you need to do is get little tiny bits of, well, what we should do is do it with proper gilding, but actually we could do it with that gold paint that you can buy, and black and gold.
Or we could get that gold leaf and then put it here. Okay, so that's a good idea. So this is Charles II, and it would be fine in that room, yes?
Yes, I think he'd look fine. And he'd be able to glower at all his forebears.
Right, exactly. Okay, all right, well we've got that sorted out, so we'll sort of change that around. All right.
I think that ought to go down again somewhere. So wonderful.
Yeah, I'm going to put this back in the library for the exhibition, probably somewhere in a corner, so that will go down. Definitely. And this one, though, will it need to be hung with chains, though?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are chains in this house, I just don't... Well, don't think it needs to. I think you could use this as, after all, four lots of wire. I think that'd be all right.
On the panel, fine. So who should I get? Raymond for this?
Yes. If you like to get me there at the same time.
Well, no, I would do that.
Just for height and things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay, all right. I might have to give her a measure just to make sure she fits in that spot.
Yes, you must.
Yeah.
Must.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Anything more?
I think that's it for now. But obviously, there's lots more pictures here that I brought back from Hinchingbrooke that we need to go through at some point.
Yes. Yep.
So we'll talk about
But
this
I'd
later.
like to do a series on the pictures with you, Julie, because I think we could have fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Who would like that? Comment down below. And then we'll do a video around that as well. She's okay like
why
this?
on earth are her eyes looking that way? Why is she looking that way? Why is she facing this way and looking that way?
Yeah, you can't even really get her to look at you.
No, you certainly can't.
Sometimes at Mapperton we get a bit overexcited, well, particularly Julie, and usually with very good reason, but today I have a reason to be unbelievably excited because guess what? The eagles are back. Now you will remember these are the 18th century lead sculptures that sit at the front of the house. They've been part of Mapperton for hundreds of years and they collapsed in a calamitous storm a couple of years ago. They've been away from Mapperton for a really long time and have been restored to their glory. And this has been done by an extraordinary craftsman called Mike White, who has been spending much of the past few months putting these lovely birds back together. He's had to really take them apart in the first instance, take out all of the insides, replace all of the supports, remold, add new lead, and most recently fix them onto these plinths with the wonderful Darren, who is the stonemason here at Mapperton. And look, they're back. It's so unbelievably exciting. We're going to be soon putting them back on the pillars, on the gate piers in front of the house. We've got a crane coming to lift them up. We've got a huge scaffolding rig that is all in place so that we can do it safely. And the eagles will be flying once more in front of Mapperton. And amazingly, this has all been possible thanks to our viewers, many of whom have very kindly supported this project. Can you believe that of our fundraising target of £25,000, we are over 22,000. We've only got 3,000 to go. And that last bit of funding will critically support the costs of the stonework. The eagles have been paid for. Now we've got to make repairs to the pillars themselves and get them up on the top there. We're so close to our goal. If you're interested in helping support the restoration of Mapperton's eagles, please do think of going to gofundme.com/Mapperton Eagles. The details are down below, and these wonderful creatures are back. It's really one of the most exciting things to happen at Mapperton since I've been here, and it's not going to be very often that I'm going to be able to pet both of these creatures in the way that I am now, because soon they will be back in their rightful place. It's another wet, blustery day at Mapperton.
Another one.
Can you think of any that haven't been?
No.
No.
It's been raining ever since October for me.
About
I feel
sort of
like it.
4 years of continuous rain.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So before we get totally soaked, we've got a bit of a job to do. And we are out today on a field that is about, I don't know, half a mile from the house. It's a field towards the edge of the estate, and it is part of the rewilding project here at Mapperton, known as Mapperton Wildlands. And you can see that this land is already looking pretty wild. I mean, there's quite a lot of thistle coming through.
Yeah.
And it's an area that we are returning to nature, but we've decided on this project that we are going to give nature a bit of a helping hand, a bit of a kickstart to get things going. And one of the reasons for that is deer.
Yeah.
Deer are an immense problem at Mapperton, and we recently did a survey of the whole estate to work out how many deer there are, and we established that there are over 30 deer per square kilometre. Now, to put that into perspective, we think that in order for there to be a natural population of deer, in other words, if there were wolves and bears and other creatures, including man, maintaining a healthy population, there might only be about 5 or so per square kilometre, and that is also the number that one wants to have in order to have natural regeneration of trees. These poor little saplings, they take root and then immediately they appear above the surface of the soil. They are munched. So, Ben, what are we doing today to combat that?
So we've already got some 2 metre established trees. So we've randomly located at certain areas where we've got random places where we'll be putting some trees. So we've got we've already the volunteers have already planted some maple today, and then now we're going to be doing some oak as well.
Usually we are putting these trees into what's called an exclosure, sometimes known as a coop or a co-op, depending on your pronunciation.
Yeah, we still got to put this one in today. So yeah, we literally just finished with the volunteers. So we just thought we'll just
You've left one for me.
Yeah, we left one for you.
Yeah, excellent.
So we just put some soil over it, just to keep all the roots nice and moist and damp. So
it's a terrible admission, but I don't think I have planted a kind of ceremonial tree once before, but I don't think I've planted a tree at Mapperton.
Oh, really?
Which makes me sound like I'm not in touch with the soil. But today I will be. Look at this lovely soil. So Ben, teach me how to plant an oak tree.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have to sort of backfill. So we're going to have to pick through quite a lot of all these stones because we don't want too many stones. So that's just going to affect all the roots. So we're going to have to backfill a lot of the soil in.
I see.
Take out all the big stones. The little finer stones like this is okay. We just don't want these really big chunks. What we are finding as well that there's quite a lot of fossils as well in here.
Are there?
Yeah.
So we might find a fossil.
Yeah.
Oh,
essentially.
Fantastic.
So we found a couple of the volunteers today. So.
Planting trees and finding fossils at the same time. What could be more fun?
Get a shovel.
And at what point does the tree go in? Can I lift it up, or am I going to break it?
Yeah. Go and lift it up. Yeah.
Okay.
We're just doing it just to keep all the roots all nice and damp.
Look at that.
So
there is our oak.
Yeah.
Gosh. And obviously its roots are not very long at this stage, are they? In its life?
I think they've taken where we've got them from. They've sort of taken the tap root quite close. But it should be, they should be fine.
I mean, there's a lot of lovely young roots in there. Look at that
coming through. So So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll backfill everything back in, and then we'll get to a certain point. We'll probably go, probably about sort of that much, and then we'll put it in, because what we don't want to sort of fill it up with soil up to there. We sort of really want to keep it quite short up to there.
And then hopefully this oak will quite literally take root.
Yeah.
And be with us for another 400 years.
Hopefully we'll definitely see something. We'll see it sort of leaf out in the summer. So.
We won't see it in 400 years.
We won't see it in 400 years' time. We'll look down on it.
We'll look
so
down
I did that.
Yeah, we'll be sitting on a cloud up there, spotting it. Right, okay, Ben, let's get to work.
Perfect.
Now, if you stand in there, I'll feel bad about throwing stones.
Nah, don't worry about that.
Not that bad.
Not that bad. No, that's all right.
Oh my God. Right, the moment after all that exercise has arrived where we can put the tree in. So now the lazier job here is to be the holder of the tree, and the more active job is to be the filler. Ben, I'm going to make you the holder.
Sure we should have Chris the holder, shouldn't we?
That's true. Chris, fancy holding? I don't think you can. Looks like too much hard work. So I'll start doing some filling around that.
Yeah.
And see where we get to.
I'll sort of compact it as you go.
Right. Ben, are you happy?
Yeah, no.
Is that all good enough?
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Really good.
One tree down.
One tree down, like another, was it?
1,500 to go.
About that.
Yeah, we've got our work cut out for us.
That's it.
I have my measuring tape because I'm going to measure this beauty, Paulina Pepys. My mother-in-law gave great advice. And those of you who are thinking, wait, you didn't really talk so much about her history or the history with Samuel Pepys. Samuel Pepys, of course, was the great diarist. He documented the Great Fire of London, and he lived at Hinchingbrooke House, which was bought, which was, of course, if you've watched some of our further past videos, Hinchingbrooke House was the original Montague family seat that was bought by Paulina and her husband, Sidney Montague. They bought it in 1625, and they bought Hinchingbrooke House for £3,000. That is it. So they bought Hinchingbrooke House from the Cromwells, and then, of course, Edward was born in 1625. He eventually then became the first Earl of Sandwich, and then Samuel Pepys lived at Hinchingbrooke House, or stayed there quite often, but had his own house down the road. They were very, very close, Samuel Pepys and Edward Montague, because they were cousins. So there you go, cousins through Edward's mother. Does that make sense to everybody? I hope so. Anyway, that was the brief history lesson. We're gonna marry we're gonna not marry her. She's already married. We're gonna measure her. You're gonna measure her. Okay, so to make sure she fits on this wall. So it's about 108 we'll go. Remember that, Chris? 108 centimeters. And, whoa, 108 centimeters by 130. 108, 130. Okay, I might turn her around. So I'm gonna see how she looks, and then I'm just gonna show you, this is the Hogarth. I'm actually gonna, just so you can see a little bit more. You see, poor thing died when he was basically 7, 8. Again, the 4th Earl of Sandwich with his wife, Dorothy Fane, they had several children, but quite a few of them died quite young, and this is one of them. So I'm going to show you where he's going to go. I'm not going to hang him today, because hanging pictures, it's not just like knocking a nail in a wall. There's got to be a lot of thought that goes into it. And then on either side, my mother-in-law suggested we put Charles II on the other side of the big Scott picture. And the reason, those of you who are just tuning in to our YouTube channel, the reason that Charles II is so important is because Edward Montague, the first Earl of Sandwich, her son, brought him back from exile. So Charles I was executed. The Cromwellian army came in. There was civil war, all that. And then they decided to bring back the monarch. And he, Edward Montague, her son, went on a secret mission to Holland to bring back Charles II from exile so he could be crowned king. Was that good, Chris? Yeah? So there you go. So they've got a connection too. Anyway, let's head down. What were my numbers?
108, 130.
Oh my gosh, Chris is so good. 108, 130. So that, the Honorable Edward that we just saw who died, age 7-8, that's his father, the 4th Earl. He's also in here as well. So this is a good place to put little Edward. So we're gonna put, well, Edward here. And then there's another painting of the 4th Earl. So at least he can kind of see his father there. And then we will put Charles II here, which I think makes, it's fine to have Charles II here. It's because it's, this is the family that brought him back from exile. So he'll be happy to be around those people. All right, let's go measure. I'm worried. This painting, this is the 1st Earl. This painting is Thomas Crewe. So this is a brother of Jemima Crewe, who became Jemima Montague, who became the 1st Countess of Sandwich, who married Edward Montague, the 1st Earl of Sandwich, because he brought Charles II back, whose mother, Paulina, is going to go here, if she fits, which I'm a bit worried. And he's going to move into the hall somewhere. He's going to into the entrance hall. So 108, yeah, fine. I mean, it's a tight squeeze. This is 115. So we'll have a little bit of room. We're kind of going to hide her in a corner, and I think it's fine. The length, I know, will be fine, 130. But we've got to rehang. Where's 130? Yeah, plenty. So we're going to have to take him down. Yeah. And move the nail and put her up. I just don't want to do it by myself. I get really nervous. I mean, it could, but I won't. But the difficulty around moving them now is, let me tell you, because you might think, well, just do it right now. I can't, and there's a reason why I can't move them right now. Because we have house tours going on. We just opened up to the public, and we have 4 tours a day, and the tour guides have all been educated on the paintings in the room. So the second I switch out a painting, I need to then write up and inform them in particular who Paulina Pepys was, and also the Honorable Edward Montague, who died when he was 7, who he was. So just a little blurb, but then I have to make sure. So the better time to do this is over a weekend, which is going to be my plan. There you go. On to the next thing.
Now we've come to another part of the same field to look at Mapperton's weather station. Now Ben, you won't know this, but when I was growing up, my grandfather used to have a weather station at the main house. And it was an analog thing, and it gave him readings, barometric readings, wind speed readings, temperature readings every day. For 40 years, he would fill out the details. I think he'd do it like twice a day.
Oh, really?
I mean, it became a complete obsession. So we've got reams of paper. Luckily, we don't have to do that because this weather station is connected to the internet and everything happens automatically. Now, I came out here the other day to install it, and it was an absolute gale when I was doing it, and it was pouring with rain, and I really struggled to put it all together. But it is mostly stood up. I mean, there's a bit of a lean, but like the tree, most good things at Mapperton lean slightly. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, no, it's we'll we've got the mallet on the back of the mule, so we're just
We've got a mallet.
yeah, we've got mallet, so we
we
can
can
take it
try
out
and
now.
take it out and put it up straight up.
reposition it. Yeah,
So-
probably
so-
all the rain we've had hasn't helped as well.
So
Softened it
the
up a bit.
purpose of this, I mean, just coming around this side, is that we've got this project that we're doing, which is obviously not just a year or two. This is a multi-decade rewilding project. And what we are trying to do is gather data. We're gathering baseline data, looking at what we have at the very start of the project in terms of wildlife, in terms of vegetation, but it's also important to track over the life of the project exactly what's been happening in terms of the weather. And so this, very cleverly, it's got a solar panel, so it charges itself. It has rain, so it can measure rainfall, comes down into this bit. It's got temperature probes. It's got a soil probe, so it's telling us the temperature of the soil as well as the air temperature. And then, of course, it's got the wind speed on the top, which we can see it's going reasonably fast now. But we've had some record wind speeds recently here. I mean, something like 60, 70 mile an hour winds up at Mapperton. But anyway, let's get the mallet. I'll tell you what, while you're doing that,
Yeah,
I'll take it out,
Yeah.
because then we can bang the tube back in place.
yeah, no worries.
I mean, this is on a screw, so it actually screws in to the ground,
Okay.
but it probably needs a bit of a bang as well. I think we leave it where it is and just have a go. What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, that bit's going to break if you hit it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's try and pull that out. Is it harder? Okay.
Oh, they've got a bit there.
There we go. Now we're cooking.
I think that could be
Bit
about
more.
it.
Bit more or not?
Well,
We're going-
I'm worried that I'll do it and the thread will go. Do you know what I mean? Because it did. That's what it was doing last time.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Whereas that feels pretty good. And I've thought of a use for my mallet. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll just sort of step around it and
Giving it a bit of
bit of
bit
compression.
of extra support.
When it's dry, it'll sort of set
Yeah.
like concrete, won't it? It'll
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Right,
yeah.
this bit goes back on the top. Not sure we got this right, but anyway. There we go. And then this goes back in. Oh,
Does those all sit back
Yeah.
in there?
I don't really know how that works, but something like that. That heads in. Straight? No.
No?
I mean, needs to go that way a bit.
Which way?
That way like that. But if you do it glad we brought the mallet. Something like that.
All right.
Looks pretty good. Thread this bit in. Stick the probe. Now this is supposed to be apparently quite a few centimetres down. Feels about right. And we'll just wind this around a bit. There we go!
Lovely.
Fully functioning weather station for Mapperton. And we shall share some exciting readings in due course. We had hoped we could connect it to the website so anyone could check in at any time to the weather at Mapperton, but we haven't worked out how to do that yet. I'm sure there's a way, and there's definitely a will. Thanks, Ben.
No worries. Perfect.
An enormous fence has suddenly appeared at Mapperton with a gate that I don't think even I could get over. What's going on?
So this is our deer exclosure, animal exclosure plot that we've got to monitor the rate of natural regeneration without anything grazing on it at all.
So we've created at Mapperton an experiment, and it's a really important experiment. We've talked about how we've got too many deer at Mapperton, and because of that they eat all the young green shoots, meaning that it's very hard for any natural growth, natural regeneration of trees to occur. And in this large field, it's about 40 acres, we've decided to create a compartment which the deer cannot get into, and I really think they are going to struggle, aren't they? I mean, this is 6 foot high, and apparently our deer cannot jump 6 foot. I think that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's they shouldn't be able to get into this at all, which would be good.
And this is obviously the way in.
Yeah.
So as we head in, what we're going to be hoping is that over time there is going to be a difference in terms of the vegetation on this side and the vegetation on the other side, and that we will be able to see and monitor and indeed do surveys to test that, so that we can see what the impact is of putting in the deer exclosure in a rewilding project in the UK. So on this side we're expecting a wonderful forest to appear, and on the other side we are doubting that many trees will get much of a chance. But Ben, I think there's already a difference. I mean, it looks to me as though there's more happening on this side than there is on that side already.
Yeah.
No.
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 I'd love to say yes.
No, he doesn't agree.
But,
That's totally okay.
Well, we're not going to see. I don't think we're going to see a massive change in here for at least 5 years.
Yeah, I think this is not going to be happening overnight.
No.
And at the moment, what we've got are a lot of lovely tussocks of grass, some ragwort,
Lots of ragwort.
and thistle.
Yeah.
But shortly, since we're right at the beginning of the spring, we should be seeing quite a few wildflowers.
Yeah, we'll see a lot through, and it'll be interesting to see what ground nesting birds are nesting in here as well. We've already got plenty of skylarks you can hear in the background as well. So yeah, I think it'll be good to see, sort of monitor if there'll be more songbirds in this little section than there would in next door. Different vegetations and
Yes. One of the things that we're doing this year for the first time is creating what we're calling a self-guided safari, which is where, rather than being taken out on a tour by Ben or by Tom Britton, who's the head of ecology at Mapperton, people can actually head out on their own. And one of the things we want to encourage them to do is a bit of citizen science, where they can get out their app and tell us what birds they are hearing, what vegetation they are seeing.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think
just make everyone feel a part of Mapperton, isn't it, and make them be involved. So
yeah, Ben, what are you hoping that we might see in 5 years' time if we're looking in this direction?
We're definitely going to see a lot of brambles. We're already seeing little bits of bramble here or there, so we're definitely going to see a lot of bramble. So it's going to scrub up quite quickly, and it'll just be interesting to see if there's anything that's sort of naturally generated underneath that bramble that might in time shade out the bramble as it establishes and grows.
Because bramble, while some people may take exception to scrub, bramble is our friend here at Mapperton. It is the bramble that provides the enclosure, the protection for the young shoots to come through. That's particularly important on that side of the fence.
Yeah, definitely.
On this side of the fence, less important, because there will be no deer and no grazing animals, at least to start with. Right, let's see if we can work out our way out of this. Thank you for watching Mapperton Live, and please join us again next week. If you'd like to find out more about becoming a patron, please go to patreon.com/Mapperton Live.